will to defend ourselves against enemies who are hell-bent on destroying us. Because we have been unwilling to lead with strength. We've been unwilling to even call our enemy by name. And how can you defeat an enemy you cannot even name?
All right, that was Gold Star mother Karen Vaughn, whose son Aaron was killed in action when his helicopter was shot down over Afghanistan, criticizing President Obama at the Republican convention for his failed policies in the Middle East. She says that electing Hillary Clinton would essentially just extend the very same policies which she says led to her son's death. Gold Star mother Karen Vaughn joins me right now. Mrs. Vaughn, welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me with you.
I know that the loss of your son has contributed to you being so outspoken about the direction we are heading in right now as a nation. Why are you so fearful that more lives will be lost with Hillary Clinton as president?
Well, you know, you can single that down to one word, actually, and that's Benghazi. When a woman stands on a public platform and actually says, what difference at this point does it make? You can see that that person is completely out of touch with the true, honest sacrifice that's taking place across this country for the past 15 years. You know, I feel like she's followed Obama's policies. The things that she's telling us she wants to do now with our nation are identical to the policies we've seen in the past, the failed policies of being completely unwilling to recognize who our enemy is, what our men and women are fighting, and how to defeat them.
If it could be done all over again, what is it that, from your perspective, that needs to be done from a policy perspective to actually start to change this, to actually be winning the war against Islamic extremism right now?
I'm glad you asked that. You know, as I said at the convention, and I could expound on it much more, our U.S. military is capable of defeating any enemy that comes against America. What we have is leaders, as I said, who are unwilling to defeat the enemy. And what I watched that personally got me off the couch is the rules of engagement that doomed our men and women in Afghanistan, specifically through this administration. In 2009, Barack Obama changed these rules changed our strategy to the COIN strategy, the counterinsurgency strategy, better known as winning hearts and minds. And with that came an astronomical death toll in the war in Afghanistan, and an even more astronomical skyrocketing wounded in action count. And these policies haven't changed, and nothing in this administration, in this would-be Clinton administration, will shift any of that. So what I would tell America and what I would tell our leaders is let our warfighters fight or bring them home. We haven't fought a war to win it since World War II. And, you know, we're watching needless deaths of U.S. sons and daughters. And what's the point if we don't plan on winning this battle? We have commanders, we have leaders capable of creating strategies much smarter than me or Mrs. Clinton or anybody else for that matter.
And Donald Trump, in your view?
Completely capable.
Donald Trump would be committed to winning, in your view?
Of course. He is committed to winning, in my view. He's the first person who's been willing to speak about these issues that have become so politically correct that we just can't have honest discourse about it. And that's kind of necessary. You know, we've got people over there fighting, wondering what the end goal is right now. And for goodness sake, they need a commander-in-chief who will give them an end game, who will tell them our objective is victory.
You know, no, it's something, a lot of people are saying this makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're going to actually be in a war, be in it to win it. Otherwise, it's costing families lives, as you well know. Let me ask you about the Khan family, which obviously has been in the news over the weekend, who also lost a son there in battle. Was Donald Trump, in your view, right to speak out against them? Should he have held back? Your thoughts on that, Karen?
You know, I really hate to say what he should or shouldn't have done. Of course, I wish he hadn't made the exact statement that he did, because one thing that people need to qualify comments by is the content of who they are as a person, all the things that they say, not just one off-the-cuff comment. And, you know, I just want to say, too, as well, to the Khan family, you're my brothers and sisters. You know, we're in this together. We lost children together for the same cause, and I honor your sacrifice. I honor your son's sacrifice. We're not enemies. And, you know, I also just want to say that, you know, if I could do anything to change what's happening in our culture right now, is I would stop this false outrage culture that we seem to be living in, where everything is just a big game to see who got the last person most on what they said. Let's take the content of everything a person says and you know, put that all together, mold that all together into an informed understanding of who a person is.
Yeah. And you know, obviously at a time like this, we really need solutions on how we're going to deal with this crisis. Karen, thank you very much for joining us here today. We appreciate you taking the time. Karen Vaughn.
Thank you.